Hello, everybody. It's John Christopher, and I wanted to give you an update on this audio course on the go idea. Now, hopefully, you watched my video before. This is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Ultimately, I'll give you a summary if you didn't watch the video. When I was studying for my exams, at one point, and this was 20 some odd years of training and traveling and all of that. I used to spend on average about 2 hours a day in the car, and I always wanted something that would involve audio that I could listen to going down the road that would go over the concepts of things that I was learning for the exam. Now, I realize that you can't beat video and visuals and all of that, but it is possible to learn by hearing the concepts of things. And so I was thinking, wouldn't it be great to have something like that? I've always wanted something like that. And as far as I know, there's nothing out there really that does that. And so I have this idea of creating an audio-based study guide that sort of goes through the concepts with you in a way that you could sort of understand them listening while you're going down the road, or you're, sitting at a desk, and if you had the opportunity to listen to something. I've been working on a manuscript for this that I will be narrating, and some of you were mentioning that you thought this would be best to go on Audible or a well-known app, and so I started researching all of that. And for me to put this audio on a platform like Audible, I would need to put the manuscript on there first in the Kindle store. That was one of the things that I learned in doing my research. So I've been sprucing up the manuscript so that it could be in a written format as well. And then my ultimate goal, though, is to get it into a audio format. And so I would basically be putting both out there. Now, keep in mind, I will have to charge for this. I'm not going to be able to just attach this to my courses or any of that for free, because it is going to take a lot of work. And I'm going to try to do this for all of my courses eventually. I'm going to start with the most popular ones, obviously, and then go from there. The MD 102 is probably my bestseller course, and so I'm going to start there, and then I'm going to move on to the other courses that are very popular, that are very sought after, and we'll kind of work our way back. But this is sort of my pilot program for this, and I wanted to get everybody's thoughts on it and hear what you have to say. I want to give you an idea of what's going to be in this. And the first thing to understand is, as of right now, the running title for this is going to be the MD 102 On the Go Study Guide for the Endpoint Administration Associate Certification. And my plan is to make sure people know what this is all about, what they're going to get out of this. And so you can kind of see the table of contents. This maps one for one for the latest test objectives. And for all of these books and audio format and all that I put out there, I'm going to try to keep them updated as much as I can. All right. And so this is the chapters are based on the exam objectives, and I'll have a lesson on each one of the items that you see here, which again maps one for those exam objectives. So looking here, I've got kind of an introduction, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about. What is this book about? And again, this is going to be in audio format. So what is this book about? What is it not? What this book is not about? So this book, here you'll notice I've written that it's a study guide designed to break down complex concepts and provide clear, easy to understand notes that will help you grasp key topics. And each chapter and section is crafted in a conversational style, approachable style, and hopefully you guys know that's sort of always been my style, is to be conversational, approachable, and try to make the certification topics digestible and memorable for you. One of the most important things to me that's key here is that the material be simplified for you. I'm going to use lots of analogies and real-world examples for you, okay, to try to keep you engaged here. Now, what is this book? What is this book that it's not, right? What this book is not. So, it's valuable. This is going to be a valuable study resource, but it is not a substitute for hands-on experience. Again, this is not going to replace doing a training course or any of that. My video courses will always be a standalone product And I would still highly recommend that, you still take the video courses or somebody's video courses, or even actual training in a classroom or something to go with this. This book, the written form, the audio form, it's going to be meant to be a complement to all of that and assist you in your studying. That's the key. That's the thing to understand. You're not just going to be able to take this book and just read through it and boom, you're going to pass the exam. This is going to help you, though, along your journey. Okay? So that's the big thing to remember here. That's the big thing I'm trying to get across. So, additionally, the guide is going to complement but does not replace the comprehensive training. So you're gonna still want to do all of that. I don't really think there is such a thing as a book, they could do that. Unless you are somebody that has a photographic memory that can just everything you read you memorize. I don't think that's possible. Plus, I don't think it's possible even if you could do that. I think it's like trying to learn how to play the piano and you've got a photographic memory and you learn everything there is to learn about music theory, but you've never sat down at a piano. I think you still got to go through and practice that. But, the key thing to remember here is that this book, the way that it's going to be set up is in a way to help you understand the concepts. You don't need to memorize. You're not going to need to memorize the portal locations of things or any of that. You don't have to know all of that for the exam, but you do need to know the concepts, okay? Here's an example, though, of how this is going to be broken down. So you've got Chapter 1, which is the main objective here is add devices to Microsoft Entra ID, and then it's broken into sections. So the next section is choosing an appropriate device join type. And so I'm going to break this down. We'll talk about things like why the join type even matters. So why does it matter? I'm going to explain that very briefly. And we'll talk about the fact that there are 3 types of join types that you have with Microsoft Entra ID. All right. And then here is, again, this is where I try to be different than anybody else out there. I'm going to give you a description of what this is. We're going to talk about we'll go over a use case and then a real world example. I'm going to try to keep that stuff short and sweet because this is a study guide. Okay. That's the idea. It's going to be a study guide to help you understand information quickly. So we'll talk about things like hybrid Entra ID, what that is, give a use case, a real-world example. Okay, same thing for this third one. Then we'll talk about things like choosing the right join type and then questions you would ask. So if you were doing this in a real company, you'll be answering things like, is your organization fully cloud-based or do you still rely on, and this will help you with the exam because those are the kinds of things the exam will throw at you, is figuring out, well, they might tell you in a test question, whether the organization in the test question is a fully cloud-based one or if they're still relying on some on-premise servers. And this is giving you some examples. Well, if you're fully cloud only, then you would want to go with Entra ID join. But if you're in a mixed environment, if you're both cloud and on-premise, maybe going with hybrid Entra ID join is going to be the better way. So that's what I'm talking about as far as breaking all that down. We'll have a little wrapping up section where I kind of wrap everything up that you just learned, like in a summary. Okay, and then notice here we move into section 2, joining devices. So it's the same format, and the format is going to be very consistent. And one of the other things in almost every section, you're going to get real-world analogies, and you're going to get a nice little example of utilizing this, why we would do it, why do we care about it, that sort of thing. All right. So again, here's the next section. Notice that this follows a certain pattern. Okay. This is less about showing a bunch of visuals here. This is because that's not going to really matter. Ultimately, they're going to be changing the portals and everything else. This is about learning the concepts. And that's what I want you to understand from this. And plus, this is very much geared towards becoming an audio type of training that would be great for somebody that's kind of driving down the road. So now hopefully you get an idea of what this is looking like in written format, but ultimately what it's going to end up being, is an audio book. And I just wanted to sort of get everybody's thoughts on that, what you're thinking about it. If you think this, if you're excited about this, and just you know, I would love your feedback. So feel free to jump in the comments and give me your feedback. Again, I don't plan on charging that much for this. I want to make that clear. And I'm going to see what I can do also for people that have purchased my video courses about giving a discount to those people. So, and plus, if you and also for the people that buy the written book or the audio version of the course, giving a discount for Udemy through coupon codes and all that. Speaking of which, I do have a discount coupon code for all of my courses right now at examlabpractice.com/courses, so feel free to check that out. But again, I really would just love your feedback on this, and I'm planning on doing this for, well, virtually all of my courses if I can, but I will definitely start with the most popular ones and work my way backwards from there. But please give me your feedback, and I appreciate you taking the time to check out this video.